Republicans met with Biden today to talk about their stimulus proposal. It's drastically less than the $1.9 trillion proposal, and it severely cuts off who would get direct payments. Here's their one-pager with all the details on who gets what. I'm going to go into that and the likelihood that it will pass, and some good news that the economy is improving faster than expected, and quick updates on EIDL grants and PPP loans. Hey everyone, this is Ryder from Skip. It's Monday, February 1st. I hope you had a great weekend and you're doing well. Thanks as always for supporting our channel and subscribing and giving this video a like so more people see it. The big news is on the stimulus front, so I'm going to talk about this. Here's what's happened. 10 Republican senators are set to meet with President Biden this evening to talk about their new proposal. Their new proposal is $618 billion. Okay, this proposal and this effort is led by Susan Collins. I talked about this yesterday. Okay, this is 1/3 of the $1.9 trillion package that Biden and Democrats support. They're going to meet this evening and talk about it. Biden also spoke with Speaker Pelosi and Senator Chuck Schumer of New York, the majority leader. Now, as we know, Democrats have the power here, and they can very likely pass the $1.9 trillion package without Republican support. But there's concern about overspending from some folks, especially from Republicans. So I'm going to talk about that and this compromise and why Republicans feel that this is a good compromise. Here it is. And in particular, direct payments is massively changed in this proposal. So I'll talk about that. And I'd love to hear in the comments when I explain who's cut out of the direct payments and who's still in, how you feel about that when you think about the pros and the cons, the pros of a larger stimulus package to pump more money into the economy. However, the cons of printing trillions of dollars of just new money, there are downsides there as well. Before I share who gets what and what the likelihood of something like this getting agreed upon by Biden, by Democrats, and by Republicans, quick update on the app. We put a post up on Friday about what happens if you are rejected for a PPP loan, some of the pros and cons. Again, if you are still thinking about a PPP loan or you've applied, there are common reasons why lenders are still waiting. I go into that in this post here, why you may still be waiting and what some of the common reasons are for getting rejected. And of course, we have links to lenders, or go to trackpploan.com. It's not too late to apply. EIDL grant progress. We expect this week or next week for the SBA finally to start reaching out to folks who qualify. According to our tracker, only 6% of you qualify for an EIDL grant. That's based on the targeted EIDL grant, based on your business address. You know, on our app, you can see all of those things. I am not going to repeat myself, but that's on our free app. Search Hello Skip in the App Store. You can also track stimulus checks, and of course, we will update this as soon as new legislation is passed in terms of a third stimulus check. We are going to update the tracker. Vaccination progress, we're at over 25 million people who've been vaccinated. Progress is looking good. Again, that's Hello Skip in the App Store, and in our latest version, you can quickly see all of your badges. Here's the proposal from Republicans. The punchline is, of course, it's only $618 billion. That's less than a third of the $1.9 trillion proposal. Now, there is funding for small businesses, PPP and EIDL. I'll talk about in a second, but here's what's missing. Number one, major funding for state and local governments. That's not here. Look, we have a section for direct COVID pandemic response, $160 billion allocated for that. For unemployment insurance, an additional $132 billion. That includes $300 per week through June 30th. For all states. That's $130 billion to help people on unemployment. We are still getting around $1 million per week applying for unemployment or the PUA. For childcare, $20 billion. K through 12 schools, $20 billion. Small business, $50 billion. I'll loop back to that. Direct payments, $220 billion estimated. I'll loop back to that. There are big changes there. Nutrition, SNAP benefits mainly, $12 billion there. And behavioral health services, mental health services, $4 billion. So very targeted. And look, there's no funding for state and local governments. And that's been pushed now for about 8 or 9 months. That was proposed in the HEROES Act to help out states and local governments. And what I've talked about is that's good because states and local governments will then have the capacity to support folks and make decisions themselves. Now, it all depends on how your state is run, if they can do a good job there, but giving more power to the states and cities to help out small businesses, to help out individuals. I think that's a good thing. But direct payments, but this is massively less. $1,000 per person for $1,600 total, including the December 2020 amount. So take the $600 that you already got, or you're still waiting on perhaps, plus $1,000 per person. For singles, that begins phasing out at $40,000 per year with a 50K cap, okay? So if you make over 50K, you would not get anything. That's a big change. We were assuming for a while it would be 75K as the cap, but Republicans are saying, let's make this for the people who need it the most. Again, what do you think about that? I would love to hear in the comments. For joint filers, the math is pretty simple, just double it. So 80K per year with a 100K cap. There would be 500 for dependents, adults and children, and no checks to convicted inmates. Okay, so that's the summary there. What do you guys think about that? That's a massive shift. Basically, in the last bill, you could earn up to 80 or 90,000 and still get something. Now, Republicans are basically saying 50K is the hard limit, 40K or less for the full amount. Leave your assessment in the comments, but I want to end with the good news. First, that the economy is improving. You know, the White House has already responded that this package is too small and Republicans are not thinking big enough. I'm going to play a quick clip here, what Jen said just a bit earlier today.
Since long before he came into office, that he's open to engaging with both Democrats and Republicans in Congress about their ideas. And this is an example of doing exactly that. So as we said in our statement last night, it's an exchange of ideas, an opportunity to do that. This group obviously sent a letter with some outlines, some top lines of their concerns and their priorities, and he's happy to have a conversation with them. What this meeting is not is a forum for the president to make or accept an offer. His view, it remains what was stated in the statement last night, but also what he said on Friday, which is that the risk is not that it is too big, this package, the risk is that it is too small. And that remains his view, and it's one he'll certainly express today. But it's important to him that he hears this group out on their concerns, on their ideas. He's always open to making this package stronger. And he also, as was noted in our statement last night, remains in close touch with Speaker Pelosi, with Leader Schumer, and he will continue that engagement throughout the day and in the days ahead.
So not a lot there. Basically, it's what we've heard a lot. You know, I would love to hear their argument for the direct payments. Again, she says the risk is not that it's too big, but that it's too small. That remains his view. And they're referring to the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill, that it should be bigger. I would love to hear their argument as to why more people should get direct payments. If you are making $80K a year, that's a big salary in the vast majority of the country, unless you're in San Francisco, perhaps. I guess the question is, do those people need direct payments, or even $70K or $60K? So I think there's an argument on both sides. You know, for printing money, why don't we just print more money? That's one view. But I also understand that we should help the people who need it the most, and there are better things we can do, right? Instead of giving $1,000 checks or $1,400 checks to people making $80K a year, $75K a year, could we help more small businesses? So that's some of the trade-offs. Obviously, it's easy to just say a billion here, a billion there. Let's just print $2 trillion. We'll see what comes out of the meeting. You know, Jen did not say much just now, but we're kind of used to that. It's a lot of high level saying nothing. But as we end here, this trend is encouraging. Still down a third over the last 14 days. Progress is happening, and really happy to see this. Deaths and hospitalizations are also down. So we hope this trend continues. We'll keep you posted. Most importantly, what do you guys think about the Republicans' counter today? Let me know in the comments. As always, stay well, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow.